Good evening. Welcome to Read Aloud 3, where it's you, me, and the Trinity. And today I didn't get to finish my chapter. Was it today? Yes. Whenever I posted the last chapter, it must have been yesterday. I didn't get to finish the chapter 14 because I was doing this longer commentary. So I needed to finish chapter 14 before reading chapter 15. It may push us past midnight on the 15th, but I mean, past midnight on the 16th, trying to catch up. But I will be posting chapter 16 on the 16th, which is just about 5 more minutes, I think, if that. Okay, so let's get to it. We're just starting chapter 14 when I kind of got cut off. So I'm just going to start 14 again, and I'll read right through to 15. Amaziah rules in Judah. Amaziah, son of Joash, began to rule over Judah in the second year of the reign of King Jehoash of Israel. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother was Jehoaddan from Jerusalem. Amaziah did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight. Yes! Finally. But not like his ancestor David. Instead, he followed the example of his father Joash. Amaziah did not destroy the pagan shrines, and the people still offered sacrifices and burned incense there. When Amaziah was well established as king, he executed the officials who had assassinated his father. However, he did not kill the children of the assassins, for he obeyed the command of the Lord as written by Moses in the book of the law. Quote, parents must not be put to death for the sins of their children, nor children for the sins of their parents. Those deserving to die must be put to death for their own crimes. Okay. And there's a reference to that, which I would like to read. This is verse 6. That was a long verse. In one moment. And it's just a reference in Deuteronomy 24:16 that go into that law even more. It's a good one. Verse 7, Amaziah also killed 10,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt. He also conquered Selah and changed its name to Joktheel, as it is called to this day. One day, Amaziah sent messengers with this challenge to Israel's king Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz and grandson of Jehu. Come and meet me in the battle. Exclamation point. But King Jehoash of Israel replied to King Amaziah of Judah with this story. Out in the Lebanon mountains, a thistle sent a message to a mighty cedar tree. Give your daughter in marriage to my son. But just then, a wild animal of Lebanon came by and stepped on the thistle, crushing it. You have indeed defeated Edom, and you are very proud of it. Why stir up trouble? That will only bring disaster on you and the people of Judah. But Amaziah refused to listen, so King Jehoash of Israel mobilized his army against King Amaziah of Judah. The two armies drew up their battle lines at Beth Shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed by the army of Israel, and its army scattered and fled for home. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king, Amaziah, son of Joash and grandson of Amaziah, at Beth Shemesh. Then he marched to Jerusalem, where he demolished 600 feet of Jerusalem's wall from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate. He carried off all the gold and silver and all the articles from the temple of the Lord. He also seized the treasures from the royal palace along with hostages, and then returned to Samaria. The rest of the events in Jehoash's reign and everything he did, including the extent of his power and his war with King Amaziah of Judah, are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Israel. When Jehoash died, he was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and his son Jeroboam II became the next king. King Amaziah of Judah lived for 15 years after the death of King Jehoash of Israel. The rest of the events in Amaziah's reign are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Judah. There was a conspiracy against Amaziah's life in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But his enemies sent assassins after him, and they killed him there. They brought his body back to Jerusalem on a horse, and he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. All the people of Judah had crowned Amaziah's 16-year-old son Uzziah as king in place of his father Amaziah. After his father's death, Uzziah rebuilt the town of Elath and restored it to Judah. Uzziah is a familiar name to me. I feel like it rings in my ears as in the year King Uzziah died. Something important happened, which is, of course, to come. Okay, next subtitle, Jeroboam II rules in Israel. Jeroboam II, the son of Jehoash, began to rule over Israel in the 15th year of King Amaziah's reign in Judah. Jeroboam reigned in Samaria 41 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He refused to turn from the sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel to commit. Jeroboam II recovered the territories of Israel between Lebo Hamath and the Dead Sea, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised through Jonah, son of Amittai, the prophet from Gath-Hepher. For the Lord saw the bitter suffering of everyone in Israel, and that there was no one in Israel, slave or free, to help them. And because the Lord had not said he would blot out the name of Israel completely, he used Jeroboam II, the son of Jehoash, to save them. The rest of the events in the reign of Jeroboam II and everything he did, including the extent of his power, his wars, and how he recovered for Israel both Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah, are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Israel. When Jeroboam II died, he was buried in Samaria and with the kings of Israel. Then his son Zechariah became the next king. Okay, this is chapter 15. Uzziah rules in Judah. Uzziah, son of Amaziah, began to rule over Judah in the 27th year of the reign of King Jeroboam II of Israel. There is an asterisk or a reference right after Uzziah, so I kind of want to look and see what that's for. Chapter 15, verse 1, Hebrew, Azariah. So it says Hebrews is Azariah, a variant spelling of Uzziah. Okay? He was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 52 years. That's how old I am. His mother was Jecholiah from Jerusalem. He did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, just as his father Amaziah had done, but he did not destroy the pagan shrines. And the people still offered sacrifices and burned incense there. The Lord struck the king with leprosy, which lasted until the day he died. He lived in isolation in a separate house. The king's son Jotham was put in charge of the royal palace, and he governed the people of the land. The rest of the events in Uzziah's reign and everything he did are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Judah. Okay. But we were talking about Amaziah here, not Uzziah, right? Right. All right. When Uzziah died, he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David, and his son Jotham became the next king. Okay, now we are talking about Uzziah. Zechariah rules in Israel. Zechariah, son of Jeroboam II, began to rule over Israel in the 38th year of King Uzziah's reign in Judah. He reigned in Samaria 6 months. Zechariah did what was evil in the Lord's eyes, as his ancestors had done. He refused to turn from the sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel to commit. Man, Jeroboam really left a terrible legacy, because we've heard that so many times. The sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel to commit. Then Shallum, son of Jabesh, conspired against Zechariah, assassinating him in public, and became the next king. There's a reference to the assassinating him in public. Let's just see what that says. Or at Ibleam. So, somewhere more specific, okay? Verse 11, sorry. The rest of the events in Zechariah's reign are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Israel. So the Lord's message to Jehu came true. Your descendants will be kings of Israel down to the 4th generation. The next subtitle is Shallum rules in Israel. Shallum, son of Jabesh, began to rule over Israel in the 39th year of King Uzziah's reign in Judah. Shallum reigned in Samaria only 1 month. Then, Menahem, son of Gadi, went to Samaria from Tirzah and assassinated him, and he became the next king. Man. Moving along. Okay. The rest of the events in Shallum's reign, including his conspiracy, are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Israel. Next subtitle is Menahem rules in Israel. At that time, Menahem destroyed the town of Tappuah and all the surrounding countryside as far as Tirzah. Because its citizens refused to surrender the town, He killed the entire population and ripped open the pregnant women. Oh my gosh. And there's another reference to that in Hosea 13:16. Menahem, son of Gadi, began to rule over Israel in the 39th year of King Uzziah's reign in Judah. He reigned in Samaria 10 years, but Menahem did what was evil in the Lord's sight. During his entire reign, he refused to turn from the sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had led Israel to commit. Then King Tiglath-Pileser of Assyria invaded the land, but Menahem paid him 37 tons of